Hey, it's Barzeyther, and today we're talking about top 10 least favorite NCS songs from 2025. Also, I respect the artist's work, and opinions are opinions. So, let's go to the list. Firstly, we'll start with honorable mentions, with the songs will still make the cut for the worst of 2025, but they are close to it. So, let's see those mentions.
Sentir el calor, quédate conmigo hasta que salga el sol. Vamos a la playa, vamos a la playa, vamos a la playa.
The primary issue here is the track's sluggish tempo and overall inertia despite its short length of 72 seconds. You know, how slow is this? Which for a Brazilian folk track is counterintuitive to expected driving rhythm. It feels dragging, underdeveloped, and fails its use to its limited runtime to deliver any compelling energy or janky musical motive.
Sol, vamos a la playa, vamos a la playa, vamos a la playa. 앞에 타포 rappers 쌤이야 오야 오야. 이제 나 18 근데 벌써.
This is a track of two halves. The rap component acknowledged as nice, suggesting high quality vocal talent. However, the surrounding musical production is disliked. The split opinion places the song in honorable mentions. It's a creating factor, but the overall listening experience is sorted by the instrumental or stylistic choices of the main song.
Go fast in the road, can't touch my mom. 난 무대 위에 성켜 chains on my mom. That's on and on, 끝난 줄 알아
Much like the royalty critique, this funk version of Los Guys Fearless is found to be unremarkable and unmemorable. The track doesn't say much, indicating a lack of new character, energy, or successful reinterpretation. It's an arrangement that fails to justify by its existence, by not improving upon or offering a compelling alternative to the original. The ruining the highly popular original royalty. When you concede that the melody was good, attributing to this to the original composition, the new funk version is judged as being more boring and unnecessary. The track seems as a diluted, less impactful version of a classic, where the new arrangement subtracts rather than adds value. The fact that this track was almost kept off the worst of 2025 list due to the perceived quality of the liquid drum bass style suggests that the song's actual execution failed the promise of its genre. The placement in honorable mentions indicates it's better in the top 10, but still in disappointment. Perhaps the track failed to capture the soulful flowing energy expected of liquid drum bass, resulting in a track that felt underwhelming or structurally flowed back to default setting that wasn't good enough. This track is criticized for being outright boring, which is a fatal flaw for a funk or dance music remix. Your Raj point is a commentary on ACS AR strategy, just suggesting they are milking OG to have views. This means that instead of fostering new, creative ideas, they're releasing safe, uninspired remixes of popular tracks, like Ferios Mortals, preparing for the engagement that can harvest from nostalgia. The track itself is casualty of this perceived commercial laziness. Now let's see if top 10 is going to be worse, and the honorable mentions are kaput. Gang secures the final spot due to intensive repetitiveness. The Jadak Jaduk Wali character itself highlights the track reliance on highly formatic rhythmic loop that is amusing for a moment, but quickly becomes grating. The simplicity of the loop and the lack of evolution throughout the track mean that after a few seconds, you've heard everything the song has to offer. It's a prime example of a track that sacrifices musical depth for immediate, short-lived, rhythmic novelty.
Ela do seu jeitinho meigo e boca profissional.
This Brazilian folk track manages to avoid being truly awful, but it's fundamentally disliked to its generic nature. It leans heavily on overused folk cliches, the cowbell, the muffled vocals, the simplistic bass pattern, without adding any unique flavor. It's an epitome of uninspired formulaic music, it's indicating that the artists were simply following a trend rather than exploring a sound. What's listenable on a purely technical level, it contributes nothing much to the genre.
Conmigo no juegues, no soy un juguete que usa cuando quiere. A eso no le doy, 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 no le doy.
Web Lenta is a confusing mess that fails to establish any strong musical identity. The track's overall composition feels awkward, especially the drops, which are poorly mixed and lack the satisfying impact expected on a funk track. There's a general disconnect between the rhythmic elements and the melodic part, preventing the track from gelling to a cohesive piece. It's a track where every element, from the sound to the arrangement, feels off, resulting in a wholly unlikable listening experience. This track embodies the miss side of hit-and-miss nature of digicore, offering an experience that is truly sleep-inducing. As we put it, the instrumental is characterized by the lethargic, uninspired synth lines and a lack of rhythm drive. It fails to capture the chaotic energy that makes good digicore engaging instead of creating a dreary, monotonous landscape. The track feels devoid of passion and creative spark, serving only as a background noise at best. Time, another digicore entry, is defined by its brevity and lack of substance, summarized perfectly by its simple critique, PLAH! This track is an ephemeral, almost disable piece of music that is hyper-energetic, to the sound palette of digicore, but fails to construct a memorable melody or coherent arrangement. It's a quick burst of sound that vanishes without leaving any impact, embodying the worst aspect of the genre, tendency towards noisy, underdeveloped ideas over genuine songwriting. As a Jersey Club track, her body should drive with energy and rhythmic complexity, but it fails flat too to its incomprehensible and distraction vocal performance. The vocals described aptly by insert some enchantment table language lyrics here are heavily chopped, distorted, and typically placed without any regard for lyrical flow or clarity. This reliance on highly manipulated, nonsensical vocal sample over a generic beat leaves the listener with a track that feels less like music and more rare with curiosity, and words out its welcome instantly. This track is a masterclass in musical monotony, successfully achieving a level of sheer boredom that is impressive in its own right. Montage Favela suffers from incredibly simplistic and repetitive structure that cycles through generic funk percussion with little variation or melody or bass pattern. It feels like an instrumental loop that goes for far too long, feeling low momentum or excited. The Polish for example, Ta Pista, while musically off-brand, does nothing to salvage the 30s instrumental, solidifying its place as a forgettable time song release. Movimento represents the absolute worst offender in the realm of vocal-driven funk on NCS. The track's biggest sin is the inclusion of what can be only described as a terrible screamo vocal sample. Scream has its place in aggressive genres like dubstep or metal, where it complements the chaotic energy, but here, laid over a genetic funk beat, it sounds jarring, out of place, and genuinely unpleasant. It's an auditory mismatch that feels like a desperate attempt to attitude to true innovation is needed. The combination is a headache-inducing and makes this track want to eventually void. This track is an immediate assault on ears, sitting comfortably as the second least favorite NCS song ever. The issue here is purely a catastrophic failure in sound engineering and stick vision. Like with Kawaii, it plays a playful artistic element, but the reality is a baggage of poorly mixed, overcomplexed and overwhelming bass. A textbook case of E-rape. The excessive use of distorted bass line utterly as small as any semblance of melody and rhythm, resulting in an experience that is grating and frankly cringe. It's a track that takes sheer volume and distortion for intensity, demonstrating a profound lack of clarity and the respect for listening to dark Yuri experience. The transformation of the already devices cradles into a funk remix is an absolute low point, earning the title of a least favorite NCS song ever. The core melody, which was only the renewing quality of the original, is especially butchered and repackaged at what feels a rush low fidelity bit. The instrumentation sounds tinny and undeveloped, as if done was production with minimal effort. Truly giving the impression of being done in the background of the laptop it was. It loves a prolonged, fragmented funk of texture of the good funk, sitting in the middle of the ground, and fails to justify its own existence or remix, let alone an official release. Alright everyone, what's your least favorite track and why? Do you have the same track that you dislike as me or us? What track do you dislike the most? Let me know in the comments. Barzeyther's out.